in your life, and if you know how to see the good in your life and thank Hashem for that, and to value it and say, yeah, I don't have much, but I have more than that person, then by default, what you talk will never be bad things about somebody, because you will learn to see the good in everybody. It's very easy to see the bad in everybody. Any person now can point the finger at every individual and point the bad thing in that person, because we all have bad in us. That person is lazy, that person lies, that person doesn't show up on time. Every person has something. It's very easy to see the bad thing in people. But to see the good in a person and to be able to value that and to talk about that, that's a very great level. And that's why Rabbi Akiva became very big. He became big in the Torah, that he's literally one of the pillars of our old Torah. He became extremely wealthy at some point. There's a book about Rabbi Akiva. You should read it. We have it here in English. It's all the miracles, what happened to Rabbi Akiva in his later time in his life. People would just throw money at him. Situations would come. He was extremely wealthy. People would just give him their wealth. Rabbi Akiva became so huge, such a giant, that A, became a giant in the Torah. B, he became extremely wealthy. And most important, he died when he was 120 years old. He had a very long life and a very healthy life. And he died on the day he was born, like a tzaddik, like Moshe Rabbeinu. He actually didn't die, he was murdered. But that's a different, he's one of the Arugei Malchut. He was murdered. I shouldn't say died. But the day of his death was the day of his birth, which is the 9th of Tishrei, if you want to once commemorate it. It's the day before Yom Kippur. So all that is attributed to the fact that he was so humble, that he was able to see the good in everything, value the good in everything, was able to talk good about everybody. That's why in the plague, now we're commemorating the death of 24,000 students of Rabbi Akiva. That's one of the reasons why we take on ourselves these dinim of mourning during the first period of the Omer, because we're commemorating there was a plague, 24,000 students of Rabbi Akiva died. Amazingly, the 5 that did not die, you see who they are: Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Yossi. I mean, these are serious Talmidim. They continued his path. But the whole point that Rabbi Akiva gave over is the humbleness. For 40 years, Rabbi Akiva was a nothing, was a nobody. He was huge. When he was 40 years old, he went to learn in yeshiva with little kids. And we see from that when you know how to humble yourself, and not only to humble yourself, to see the good in everybody, then A, by default, Hashem rises you to levels that you can't even imagine. But needless to say, since we're talking about Lashon Hara, that will cause you not to talk Lashon Hara about people, because you're going to see the good in that person. You're not going to see the bad. If you have a